Your watch knows when you woke up this morning. It knows your resting heart rate. It knows you slept badly. It knows where you went for a run and the exact route you took. If you wear a continuous glucose monitor, it knows your blood sugar levels in real time. If you use a cycle tracker, it knows the most intimate details of your reproductive health. Now, who else knows all of that? The answer should be just you. But in reality, it's your device manufacturer, their cloud servers, third-party data brokers, the app developers they share data with, and potentially anyone technically sophisticated enough to intercept it. Wearables are the most personal computers ever built. They sit on your body 24 hours a day, collecting data that your doctor doesn't even have. And the security protecting that data is, in many cases, shockingly inadequate. This is CypherNexus. Today we're exposing exactly how health data leaks from wearables, what the real-world consequences are, and what you can actually do to protect yourself. Subscribe if you're new here. We go inside the mechanics of digital threats every week. Hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming. Let's get into it. Before we get into the vulnerabilities, let's be precise about what's actually being collected, because most people dramatically underestimate the scope. Modern wearables don't just count your steps. Depending on the device, they're continuously collecting heart rate and heart rate variability, blood oxygen saturation, sleep stages and duration, skin temperature, electrodermal activity, which is a proxy for stress levels, GPS location history, menstrual cycle data, blood glucose levels for CGMs, ECG readings, fall detection events, and behavioral patterns like activity levels, sedentary periods, and caloric estimates. Now consider what that data reveals in aggregate. Your sleep quality over 6 months tells a story about your mental health. Your heart rate variability trends can indicate cardiovascular risk. Your glucose data reveals whether you have or are developing diabetes. Your location history reveals where you live, work, worship, and who you spend time with. This isn't fitness data. This is a continuously updated medical and behavioral profile, and it lives on servers you have essentially no visibility into. That's the stakes. Now let's look at exactly how it gets exposed. Every wearable communicates with your smartphone via Bluetooth Low Energy, BLE. It's how your watch syncs your heart rate to your phone, how your fitness tracker uploads your sleep data. BLE was designed for low power consumption, and security was an afterthought. The attacks on BLE fall into two main categories. First, passive eavesdropping. BLE broadcasts can be intercepted by anyone within range, typically 10 to 30 meters, with a Bluetooth scanner. Tools like Ubertooth One, which costs around $120, can capture raw BLE traffic. If the data being transmitted isn't encrypted at the application layer, and many wearable apps don't encrypt it, the health data is readable in plain text. Second, MITM and spoofing attacks. A more sophisticated attacker can spoof the identity of your phone to your wearable, tricking the device into pairing with a malicious receiver instead. This is called a BLE impersonation attack, and it allows real-time data interception without the victim ever knowing. Research published by security firm Armis identified multiple wearable platforms with BLE vulnerabilities, including improper pairing validation that allowed unauthenticated devices to extract health data without user consent. Your wearable's data doesn't stay on your phone. It uploads, continuously, to cloud servers via APIs. And APIs are one of the most consistently poorly secured components in modern software. Documented API vulnerabilities in health wearable platforms have included broken object-level authorization, where changing a user ID in an API request returns another user's health data, missing authentication on certain endpoints, where health records are accessible without any valid token, excessive data exposure, where APIs return full health record objects containing far more data than the requesting app needs. In 2021, security researchers discovered that the API backing a major fitness platform exposed the private location data, including home addresses inferred from GPS patterns, of millions of users. The vulnerability required no authentication to exploit, no hacking, just knowing the right URL structure. And it's not just third-party researchers finding these issues. Data breach notifications from wearable companies have included Fitbit, Garmin, which suffered a ransomware attack that took their entire platform offline for days, and numerous smaller health tracking apps. This vulnerability isn't a bug, it's a feature, and it might be the most consequential one on this list. When you agree to the terms of service for a wearable platform, which, let's be honest, you didn't read, you typically authorize the company to share your health data with third-party partners for purposes including research, product improvement, and personalized advertising. In practice, this has meant health data flowing to data brokers, insurance analytics firms, and advertising networks. In 2023, the Federal Trade Commission took action against several health data companies for sharing sensitive health information, including data that could reveal pregnancy status, fertility treatment, and mental health conditions, with Facebook and Google through tracking pixels. Despite promising users their data was private, the downstream risk is real. Health data sold to data brokers can be purchased by insurance companies to make underwriting decisions. It can be accessed by employers through HR analytics vendors. It can be used to infer conditions you haven't even been diagnosed with yet. The device itself is an attack surface. Most wearables store recent health data locally, in flash memory on the device, and many do so with minimal or no encryption. If a wearable is lost, stolen, or simply left accessible, that local data can be extracted. Research teams have demonstrated extracting health data from wearable devices using forensic tools, the same category of tools used in criminal investigations. In some cases, devices with no PIN protection stored weeks of health history in plain text, readable with standard USB forensic software. There's also firmware vulnerability. Wearable operating systems are rarely updated as frequently as smartphones. Known firmware vulnerabilities can persist for months or indefinitely on older devices, leaving attack vectors open that manufacturers have already patched in newer firmware versions. The companion app on your smartphone is often the weakest link. Companion apps, the Fitbit app, Garmin Connect, Samsung Health, Apple Health integrations frequently request permissions that far exceed what's needed to operate. Location access, microphone access, contact lists, camera. Each additional permission is an additional attack surface. Security researchers analyzing popular wearable companion apps have found unencrypted local databases storing health records, hard-coded API keys in app binaries, accessible to anyone who decompiles the app, excessive data collection running in the background even when the app isn't in use, and insecure data transmission to analytics SDKs bundled inside the app. Your health data is often the cargo, the app is the leaky ship. I want to spend a moment on why this matters beyond the technical, because your data is exposed is abstract. Let's make it concrete. Insurance discrimination. Health data revealing pre-existing conditions, chronic illness, or reproductive health decisions can affect life insurance, disability insurance, and in some jurisdictions, health insurance underwriting. Data brokers sell to insurance analytics firms. The connection is documented and growing. Legal exposure. In the post-Dobbs United States, location data and health tracking data from period tracking apps has been legally subpoenaed in abortion-related investigations. This is not theoretical, it has happened. The data you generate on your body can be used against you in court. Targeted fraud. Health data enables highly specific social engineering. An attacker who knows you have a cardiac condition can craft a fake medical billing scam precisely tailored to your situation. Specific, credible, and far more effective than generic fraud. Personal safety. GPS location history from wearables, including inferred home and work locations from movement patterns, creates a stalking risk. This data has been exposed in API vulnerabilities and sold by data brokers. Alright, here's the part that actually matters. What do you do about it? 1. Be selective about what you track. Not every health metric needs to be digitized and uploaded to a cloud server. Ask yourself, do I actually need this data in an app? Some metrics are fine to track locally. Others, reproductive health, mental health indicators, chronic condition data, carry higher risk if exposed. Weigh the value against the exposure. 2. Audit companion app permissions. Right now, open your phone's settings, go to your Wearables companion app, and revoke every permission that isn't strictly necessary. It does not need your microphone. It probably doesn't need your contacts. Location should be only while using, never always on, unless GPS tracking is the explicit feature you're using. 3. Read the data sharing settings. Inside your Wearables app, find the privacy or data sharing settings. Opt out of research data sharing, third-party data sharing, and personalized advertising wherever the toggle exists. These are often buried, but they're there. Go find them. 4. Keep firmware updated. Enable automatic firmware updates on your wearable. Manufacturers do patch security vulnerabilities, but only devices running current firmware receive those patches. An unpatched device is a permanently open door. 5. Use a PIN or passphrase on your device. Every wearable that supports a lock code should have one set. It's the simplest barrier against physical data extraction if your device is lost or stolen. 6. Be cautious with third-party health integrations. Apple Health, Google Fit, and Samsung Health act as central hubs that other apps can request access to. Regularly audit which apps have access to your health hub and revoke anything you don't actively use. This is the OAuth hygiene problem applied specifically to health data. 7. Consider a privacy-first alternative. For users who need the functionality but want stronger privacy, platforms like Garmin offer more robust data control settings than many competitors. For reproductive health tracking specifically, apps like Drip or Yuki store data locally, on device only, with no cloud upload and no third-party sharing. These exist, use them. 8. Use a VPN when syncing health data on public networks. Your wearable syncs to your phone uploads to the cloud. If that upload happens over an untrusted public Wi-Fi network, that transmission is an interception risk. A VPN encrypts it end to end. Wearables are genuinely remarkable technology. The ability to monitor your own health continuously, catch anomalies early, understand your body's patterns, that's meaningful and valuable. I'm not telling you to throw your Apple Watch in a drawer, but there's a cost to that convenience that most people were never told about. Your health data is being collected at an unprecedented scale, stored on servers with inconsistent security, shared with parties you didn't knowingly choose, and in some cases, weaponized against the very people who generated it. Understanding that cost is the first step to managing it. If this video changed how you look at the device on your wrist, share it. This is information people deserve to have before they make decisions about what they track and who they share it with. Drop a comment. Which of these vulnerabilities hit hardest for you? Are you changing any settings after watching this? I want to know. Subscribe and hit the bell. Next week, we're going somewhere new on CypherNexus. I'll see you there.